When it happened at a time when the whole world was reeling and going through this bad phase. In spite of that, some businesses like Microsoft Cloud has seen a phenomenal growth. Why? Because, as I said in the beginning, technology and digital is what is going to transform and keep this world moving. Technology cannot be a substitute to everything. Of course, technology cannot give us food. Technology cannot give us roti, kapda, or makan, the three basic ingredients we need to live. But technology itself has been a big enabler, and going forward will be the only enabler when it comes to surviving in this whole era. So digital disruption 3.0, which is all around us today, and last 3 months, it's actually been growing at a very fast pace, is changing lots and lots of things. What is it doing for us? It's changing the way we live, and you have seen it all last 3 months, though by force, but it has changed the way people talk to each other, people interact, people send messages. Nobody is meeting anybody, but in spite of all that, we are still connected, as if we just met. Believe me, we just met. Then the way we shop, the way we order groceries, we have ordered medicines, we have located hospitals around us. We have this app called Arogya, which has helped people to know if I'm coming close to a COVID positive patient. All that has been possible through technology. And going forward, this is the, perhaps, I won't say the only medium, but the most critical medium, which will help people to still keep on working, living, and growing. Now, technology is changing pace very fast. What was good for us yesterday is bad for us today in terms of technology. A few years back, I remember we were into 1 Mbps of data, and that seemed to be a dream, having 1 Mbps. Today, I have a 45 Mbps data. I am still kind of cribbing. Oh my God, it's too slow. And now we are moving to 100 Mbps. And very recently, I think just last week or last week, there was this report that somewhere they have tested 2.5 terabytes of data flow onto a network. Imagine after 5G is launched, how this data flow is going to happen. The explosion is already there, but I think this is going to be multiplying at a very fast pace. Now, transformation is not happening only in IT companies or IT areas or for that matter, some very select companies. Transformation is happening everywhere across the world. Let me give you 3 examples why I feel the world is moving towards a big digital expansion. Number 1, in India for the first time recently, and this is last month, in India for the first time, rural netways has actually surpassed urban netways. We always had this feeling that the people using mobile phones and internet in our villages and rural areas is far less than people in cities. But look at this news. People in rural areas, tier 3 towns, villages have surpassed cities when it comes to usage. And that's obvious because the population is higher there, which means the penetration of internet and penetration of mobility and mobile phones and smartphones has been very high in rural and tier 3 areas in this country. Let's look at another example. Let's look at Dubai, because I operate partly out of Dubai also, so that's very close to what we do. Etisalat, Dubai's biggest telecom company, is developing IoT solutions. Who could have thought a few years back that a telecom company would be developing an IoT solution, or a manufacturing company will be actually coming out with a smart city solution? And it's happening right now because companies are transforming. They're looking at newer areas of business, newer ways of achieving revenue models, newer revenue streams, and that is possible through digital enablement. And last but not least, another example from Africa, where 22 projects totaling around $16 to $18 billion have been launched just within the last few months. Because everybody has understood that investments in digital are going to be bigger, reaping good profits. At the same time, that's perhaps one thing which is going to make life easier for all of us. An example, again, I can give you is whatever we have done in the last 3 months, in spite of lockdown. I think all of us, except for few very unfortunate part of our society who had to just walk, who had problems, and unfortunately some people lost their lives also. with due respect to all of them, I think a majority section of our society has been able to strive, not only strive, but keep on working. And as I said, keep on being alive and kicking because they had access to technology and access to digital solutions. Corona has also changed the way world is changing. Till 3 months back, we were more worried about, manual processes, converting manual to digital, making things faster, tracking things, and all those kinds of things. But Corona brought in a totally new paradigm, which we had never thought. And that's obvious because nobody could have thought that we will have such a kind of situation. But now people are used to live to this, and they will become. You will see in next couple of years, we will be used to living a life amid this kind of catastrophe, but being 100% productive. And things have started happening. So what we are now looking at is putting more and more digital. But is it that putting more and more digital is going to make things better? No, we have to create an experience. And one example which I always give, because it's a very great example in a country like India, to talk about how digital revolution has changed our issues to an experience. This example comes from the banking industry. Till end of 80s, banks were like any normal government office kind of thing. Because I have a personal experience. I used to be a student and I used to go to bank for making drafts because I was applying for a couple of entrance examinations in 1990s, 89, 90 kind of time frame. And I remember going to the bank, standing in a queue, waiting for a token, then filling up a form. Then they will ask me, come after 3 hours to pick up your draft, right? This was a common situation across all the banks. Then came a time when government said we would like to introduce computerization and nobody agreed. Believe me, there was a big pushback from bank unions because they always felt that introducing computerization in banks would lead to job losses. But since time was ripe, it happened. And look at what happened in last 20 years in the banking industry. Not only the number of jobs increased multifold. Today you have many lakh of people working in banking because the private banks came up, international banks came up, multinational banks came up. Second thing what happened was the ease of working. No longer I have to go to a bank to get my cash. ATMs have always been there for last many years. But because of this COVID also, now ATMs are also losing their value. Now we are into total digital. My smartphone is my bank today. My smartphone is my bank. I don't have to really go out, not only to get the cash, but do any other transaction for the bank. Drafts are anywhere gone history. No longer we need drafts. We just do money transfer online, payments online, etc., etc. And finally, we are entering a new phase with digital, which is cryptocurrency. Few months back, Government of India made cryptocurrency legal. And thanks to somehow this COVID kind of situation, the focus on these kind of technologies is increasing. You will see very soon that most of us would be transacting in these technologies. It will become a mass technology, by the way. So just closing this part, where digital disruption is happening fast. At the same time, one very interesting thing is happening in digital disruption. The time taken to adopt digital and time taken to use digital has reduced a lot. Initially, it used to take a couple of years to become 100% digital. Then came a time when people used to take months, and now people are taking days. And believe me, with this COVID, there have been examples where some schools and colleges have actually adopted e-learning software and platforms within a night, because they wanted it, they needed it, they had no option. So the time taken to adopt digital is going down, and the next generation of transformation from digital is happening in these 4 areas. Automation, where you think of any other automation areas like IoT, machine to machine, robotics, and everything what happens around us. Analytics, anything to do with data, artificial intelligence, and finally augmentative technologies. These 4 A's are going to revolutionize the way things are happening and businesses are doing. Let's come back to India now, because our focus is now moving towards the cloud. So in India, these are 2 surveys done, one in 2016 and one in 2018. 2016 survey had a simple result. It said 19% of people, companies have adopted digital, only 19%. And 34% are still evaluating. And 32 plus 15, 47% are still way behind. But Within 2 years, this 19% jumped to 55%, which is more than 2x or 2.x rather. And this 34% went up to 40%, and only 1% people are still digital laggards, which means they are not digital, 1% today. And because of Corona, they would have started the journey. So which means there's hardly any industry, any company or any organization which is not happening digital. So what is now changing in a country like India? Couple of things. Data usage in India is growing at a phenomenal pace of 73% CAGR. And it will double or triple very soon. India's internet traffic will be 154 petabytes per day. Today it's 40 petabytes. Sorry, it was 40 petabytes. Imagine the kind of, and believe me, in one family, if I take my family, between me, my wife, and my kids, we would be generating a hell lot of data every day. Hell lot of data. 40,000 petabytes in 2010 is likely to shoot to 2.3 million petabytes. That's the kind of data we have. And 90% of that data has been produced recently. And last but not least, the compliance is also increasing because of the threats, because of all the negative connotations around this data. We also need to worry about safeguard and security. And that's where you are having data protection law, which India is passing. Then you have DISHA, which was brought in a couple of years back. That's on the healthcare side. Global laws like GDPR, they are changing. Now, what is happening because of that? The type of data, the magnitude of data, and evolution of data is increasing at a very, very fast and very, very high streams. And we are not able to cope with it. That means we are looking now, customers are looking forward to have some kind of mechanism that if I need today morning, if I had some data and by evening I have some data, do I have ready to use on demand spaces available to me to host my data? Do I have data centers with just a click of a button, I should go and start hosting my data? That is the kind of transformation what is happening. And that leads us to data centers. How are data centers changing? Number one, legacy data centers no longer make sense. Gone are the days when you had a data center with rows all set, and then you ask people, okay, come and host. Today, customers are expecting varied kind of options. Customers are expecting a variety and choices what they want to have. And we all do at our homes, at our daily life. Number two, data center infrastructure is disrupting. We are no longer constrained by the size and the bandwidth. We are now looking at hyperconvergence, super hyperconvergence. We're looking at hyperscale data centers because, as I said, digital and data, these two things are changing the paradigm what we do every day. Cloud is getting bigger and bigger. In the last 3 months, it might have actually exploded a couple of times. Physical access is getting lower. No longer we need data centers where a lot of people should go inside and do. When I joined my previous company a couple of years back, we used to go get inside data center almost once a day. But no longer people want that because of security, because of other concerns. We are looking for transformed data centers where everything is automatic, everything is done without stepping inside a data center. Hyperconverged, hyperscaling is the key. Why this change? As I said, number one, data. Every company is exploding. Number two, compliances around data. It's that we have data, but we also have problems, ransomware. So people need security to keep their data somewhere where it should be 101% a highly secure environment. They should not be worried about when they sleep that what is happening to my data right now. And new ways of working, virtual, online, remote. Last 3 months, these terms have been very commonly used everywhere. New technology domains, analytics, deep learning, machine learning, it's creating lot new type of data, lot new type of applications. So you need data centers which are totally transformed, which are totally in a different paradigm. We are no longer constrained by bandwidths, we are no longer constrained by spaces, and now we are no longer constrained by higher costs of running a data center because we have green and energy efficient data centers now. So what customers are asking, I want a data center where I can have what I want on demand. Whenever I want, it should be flexible. It should give me as per my requirements, not that I have to choose. It should be the other way around. I have to say that I want this, and data center should be able to give me that. And it has to be non-disruptive. So when we look at this transformation, we bring to you a very unique proposition today, Data Samudra. Now, people on the call, especially people who are from the south side, they know Samudra in Dravidian language means sea, and also in Sanskrit. So Data Samudra very aptly defines itself a data center where you can host an ocean of data. Ocean of data. So Data Samudra is one of the first on-demand and on-requirement data center, providing all the three aspects. Number one, co-location, hosting, and cloud. Now, what it means by on-demand, I will explain you. Give me 5 minutes. I'll explain you in detail what we mean by this. So Data Samudra comes to you from Tele India Networks, a well-known telecom services organization. Tele India has been a striving organization for the last 2 decades in this country. They are headquartered in Bangalore, but their business spreads across India, Middle East, Africa region. And this data center is coming up in a very new greenfield facility, very close to International Airport. So people who have been around that place, they might know that very close to International Airport, Bangalore International, there is a KIADB IT Park. That's Karnataka Industrial Board. They have created a one of the largest, I think, IT parks in the city. And there are already few companies operating. You might have heard Shell Development Center is there, and there are a couple of security companies. So that IT park, it has a great advantage of being very close to International Airport and just touching the national highway, which is highway number 7. And that two advantages make it a very prominent location, and Data Samudra is hosted there. So the building, what you see is a design building, because we are in the final stages of construction. Why final? Unfortunately, because of this COVID, the whole construction cycles have delayed, as you know, because unavailability of material and unavailability of resources. But in spite of that, we have just restarted the things, and we are looking forward to open this data center in first week of August. Though it also means that depending on a customer requirement, we are able to fast track few things, and we are ready to do it. In fact, we have some discussion going on with customers, and we're ready to fast track few things. So it's a 100,000 square feet. So you can imagine the kind of size we have taken. This data center is a 350 plus racks. It's got a built-up area of 19,000 square feet, and as I said, it offers all the three services, and it also is supported by a state-of-the-art global NOC network operations center, which is coming in the same vicinity. So this building, which is a 6-floor building, will host data center, global NOC, and other administrative offices of Tele India and Data Samudra as well. And we're looking forward to open this in next 2 months of time. But as I said in the beginning, we are going to do a global soft launch and start our go-to-market business from 3rd week of June. And definitely you will be part of, you will get that information, and you will be invited to a public webinar very soon where we are going to open this to the world. So just to give you an idea about the background, because some people might have this question about Data Samudra comes from Tele India. So Tele India, as I said, has been there for last 15 years, mainly into telecom services. And you can see on this slide, they are a formidable company with a lot of global clients, quality processes, and very qualified team of more than 300, 400 technical guys who have been focused on multi aspects of technology. So which signifies that this data center doesn't come to you as a amateurish kind of data center. It's a professional team behind this data center which is setting it up. So as I mentioned in the beginning, it's close to the airport, 350 racks, and it's on the 2nd floor, so which is as per the Uptime Institute guidelines. We are creating this as a tier 3 complied data center, and very soon we'll have all the certification processes initiated for this data center. Since we are in a country which for long has been focused on creating a local capability and making it bigger. So last couple of years, we would have all seen that there have been a lot of innovation in this country in terms of whether what you call the biggest smart city mission in the world, the biggest digital mission in the world, the kind of access to mobility, the number of people having access to internet is growing at a very phenomenal pace. Now, when it comes to tomorrow's India, we need much more things to happen. We need to have more local, and I think last few weeks there have been lot of talk around it by the government, by our honorable Prime Minister and everybody, that we need to be very self-reliant. So be vocal about local is a mantra we follow from the very beginning. So this data center being in India is catering to India's compliances, especially when it comes to India data protection law. So one of the first services I'm going to talk about, which we are going to have as a unique proposition, is a service which is all around India's data protection law guidelines. Then we're talking about multiple things called on-demand, on-requirement, which I will tell you, and a new law, which is data protection law, which is having a lot of compliances, and how we are going to cater to that. I'm just going to talk to you. So what this data center is going to offer? Number one, it's going to offer a co-location services, under which we are, as I said, we are a very on requirement kind of thing. So we are here to offer space as a service, raw space somebody wants, few racks, 1 rack, 10 racks, 100 racks, some use of a rack. So rack collection, rack space, sub cabinets in a rack, any kind of flexibilities what a customer would require, we are here to honor that and help with that. Number two, when it comes to hosting, so multiple hosting services, NOC as a service, data residency, the service I was talking about, one of the first of its kind in this country, DR as a service, storage as a service, private to public connectivity, virtualization, multiple kind of hosting environments we are ready to offer. And cloud, whether private, public, hybrid, cloud applications, virtual servers, dedicated cloud, you name. And then we are also looking forward to platform as a service, because today, when you talk of cloud, you talk of multi-industry verticals and multi-industry platforms. Education has its own gamut of platforms, self-learning, e-learning. You have manufacturing having its own platforms. You have smart cities asking for platforms. So very soon you will see cloud offerings around cloud for the smart city, cloud for healthcare, cloud for e-learning, cloud for manufacturing, that kind of services. Because what we believe is, as I said in the beginning and repeating here, we are into a business where we want customers to choose what he wants, rather than trusting what he doesn't really want. So these are some of the high-level offerings. What does the data center bring as part of its USP and key facilities? Of course, 19,000 square feet of data, 350 plus racks, power as per uptime guidelines, tier 3 guidelines. We're catering to N+1 and N+N UPS loads. Cooling state of the art. We're going with smart aisles, so that customer doesn't have to really worry about whether his part of the rack gets enough cooling or not. Then physical security, right from CCTV to biometric to future-looking facial recognition in time to come, because this is what the transformation we are trying to keep working on. And as I mentioned, smart aisle racks with loads varying from 5 to 15 kilowatt, or maybe less or more as customer demands. Having the best of networking features, we are looking at the emerging networking domains like software-defined networking, vendor-agnostic networking, cybersecurity. This facility will, in due course, will be ISO 27000 certified, uptime certified, ISO 14000, ISO 20000. So we would definitely like to do the best as we progress and when the right time comes to do that. And a global NOC, as I mentioned, in the same vicinity, which helps a lot, because when customer hosts something in a data center, he also needs to have around the clock 24/7 management, 24/7 monitoring, and that's what we're doing. And any other facility what is required from a customer point of view or a vendor point of view is already there. So Global Knock, which is coming in the same building and the next floor, is all about offering multi-level services to local and global customers. As I mentioned, Tele-India has been in this domain for last 15 years plus. So we are now looking to extend that capability to a data center management, data center operations, and security operation kind of new business streams. And very soon, you will hear more details around these services coming. So this is a very high level architecture. I will not get into technical details today because the idea is to give you a preview about what is coming up. Then rack layout, these things are right now in execution, as I said, and by first week of August, you can even walk in and see this. You can even walk in today, you can see the building, but as I said, the internal working and interior fit out is happening right now. So as I mentioned in the beginning, we are offering all the three flavors what data centers offer, which is CoLo, hosting, and cloud. So within CoLo, we have multi-services plan to offer space as a service, rack as a customers can ask for 1 rack, 10 rack, 100 racks, sub racks, 42U, 1U, 5U. Customers can ask for private cloud. They can have vertical clouds, as I mentioned, like smart city cloud or healthcare cloud. They can have data residency as a service, which is a very new and unique concept we are bringing forth in the market. And I'm going to talk separately on that. And finally, cloud services, right from private to hybrid to platforms to SaaS, everything what you can think of, where customers get a flexibility to choose and have a gamut of menu offerings to choose from. Data residency as a service is a very unique and new concept in this country. And why it has come up? Because we all know that last couple of years, multi-country and multi-geography governments have really been worried about data security. And that's required because all our personal data is very secure, and I don't want my critical personal data to go out of the country, for example. Why should it? If I am being offered a service by a vendor or by a service provider who is in US and has my credit card data, I would definitely like to not have the data shared across except within what I need to have. And second, with the compliance growing, multi-countries have come out with their own security laws. The global law, which was GDPR, which was by European Union, started 25th of May 2018. That was the day when it launched, and that also prompted India to look at their own law called India Data Protection Law, which was discussed, deliberated, and fortunately, I was part of one of those working streams with the IT Ministry, Government of India, a couple of months, where I was also part of that team, which was set up to get inputs and create that guideline. So the guidelines had been completed. The law, as in terms of being there, is already there, but it was supposed to be passed by Parliament, which couldn't happen last time because of other things. So we expect the law to be implemented any point of time. India government has come out with a lot of guidelines around that. RBI has come out with their own guidelines around fintech. And then Health Ministry has come out with their own guidelines around healthcare data, where another law called DISHA, which is the healthcare law, and a global law called HIPPA is already there. So which means for all these laws, there is a requirement. And the requirement says that your critical data of your customer should be in the country itself. Now, a company which has multi-operations in this country, number one, they might have data centers, so they can manage to do it. But 80% of the organizations, especially organizations who are small, medium, and slightly large organizations, they either may not have their own data centers, or they may have data centers with not that much kind of security built around it. So they will be looking forward to new kind of businesses, new kind of service offerings. Then the second target is customers who are not in India. Customers, say, for example, a company is not operating in India, but in Sri Lanka, and they offer a service to Indian customers, and then Indian customers use their personal information like credit card, home address. These are actually categorized as personal information. for the country. Now, as per the law, that company needs to have that data somewhere in India. So they will need some kind of service. So that's why we created a service called Data Residency as a Service for those kind of inbound customers who are coming to India, who are in India, or who are doing anything to do with customers in India, and Indian companies who have customer data. They need to have a secure data storage and secure data spaces. So data residency as a service, as a concept, we are talking about, I will not go into technical details right now, but it's a unique service offered so that they can be compliant with the data and they don't have to really worry about that data getting lost or broken, because this comes with a lot of cybersecurity inbuilt, anti-ransomware, encryption, and all those kind of things. And very soon we'll have more details on this service as we come closer to the launch. Disaster recovery site services is another big thing, because every company operating here, every company having a data center, they still need a disaster recovery site. And we all know, people who are in the data center industry or close to that, they know that data centers talk about three phrases: hot DR, warm DR, cold DR. Hot DR is where you have everything, including your data, already mirrored. So if your primary site goes down, the secondary site comes up like within a fraction of a second, as if there's no downtime. Warm DR is where you don't put data initially, but have the infrastructure ready, and the moment you need it, within a couple of hours, you can do that. And cold site is where you have, maybe you can just have the base infrastructure, but when your primary site is going down or goes down, it will take some time to bring that site up. That's called cold DR. So between these three areas, we have a flexibility to offer services. So we are offering our customers services around all the three aspects of hot, warm, and cold. And as I said, we are into an on requirement kind of model, which means we will go to customer, get customer requirement, and then create a service offering within this area. So flexibility wise, we offer multiple choices to a customer. Now, what the Data Samudra is going to target? Of course, every customer who is looking for any data center services, CoLo, hosting, cloud, DR, residency, simple space, or multiple servers, or any kind of industry cloud, Data Samudra has everything for everyone. But if you ask me, are we targeting at some specific segments? Right from startups, because startups, they're working in a lot of consumer segment areas. They have a lot of data, so they need a secure place to keep their data. They need their cloud to have their applications, and at a very economical scale, by the way. So we offer that kind of environment to startups. MSME in the same range, because of cost, because of flexibility, because of pay what you use kind of models. We offer them this kind of flexibility. They don't have to really, they can scale as they scale. So mid-size companies, and then moving on to large enterprise customers. So which means we have something for everyone, or everything for everyone, if I take this liberty to say. Of course, there are certain things which are going to be starting in next 2 months' time. Certain things might take some more time, like industry cloud. But right now, from today till next 2 months, my team is going to work in every direction with every kind of segment and every kind of target base. As we enter the market, we are focused with a 3E strategy. We are starting now, which means we are first going to educate. Today's session is an example. We are educating our own team, our own partners, our own stakeholders. Then we move on and start educating our customers, our target base, and then we move on and create industry alliances, because this is an ecosystem world. You cannot survive alone. So if you're offering data center, we also look at partnerships and alliances from people in different domains, and I'm going to share which those domains are. And by August first week, when we open the data center, we believe that Data Samudra will have a formidable image and brand in the market. We would definitely have customers, and we would be a roaring business to start from day one of opening. That's the strategy. Now, one important aspect of our positioning has been around on demand and on requirement. What does it mean? Now, if you talk to a data center, and many of you would have done it or might be doing it. So if I have to go to a data center website today, say X, I don't want to put names here, and say I want some service, the first thing I see there is they would have already put a lot of service offerings. For example, some data center says, oh, you need hosting, I offer you a dedicated server with one CPU, so much RAM, so much virtualization for X amount per month. Fine. Second offering, 2 CPUs, dual CPU with this. Now, what if my customer says, hey, I am so small, I am a small startup, I want to start with only a virtual CPU, and I want to only have 64 GB of RAM, and I want to only have 300 GB of storage. Now what happens, you have to choose a package whichever is closer to your requirement, right? So when you go to a data center portal, you can choose one of these which is very close. So if somewhere you have to compromise a bit. So if I want a dedicated CPU with 64 GB, I might get a dedicated CPU with 32 GB, for example, because all data center cannot keep every server and everything lined up. What we decided is, hey, you know what? Why can't we give priority to what customer wants? So customer says, I want one server with one CPU and I want this much CPU. Okay, if you have a requirement, we should be able to fulfill you. I want one rack, but tomorrow I need an option to add another rack, and next month another rack. Yes, we are ready to get into that kind of discussion. So that is why if you go to Data Samudra portal tomorrow, our portal is almost up, but some work is happening right now. But if you go to Data Samudra portal, you will see that you will not be able to choose a package today, because we believe that first we need to know what you want and then give you a package, rather than we telling you, okay, hey, these are the 3 packages, you choose one of them. So that is what I mean by on demand and on requirement. Flexibility wise, we offer you CoLo, hosting, cloud, hybrid. We offer you durations. You can say, I want to host for 10 months, I want to host for 2 years, I want to host for 5 years, I want to host, I want to pay you one time, I want to pay you per month. Fine, flexible. On demand, today you have one rack, then you give us a call, say, you know what, I've got some problem, I need 2 more racks in next 15 days. Okay, fine. We are definitely here to help you with that as required, which means you require 1 U server to 10 U storage to 5 U boxes. We are able to fulfill those kind of requirements. So that is what we mean by on demand, on requirement. Very few data centers have that kind of facility. Believe me, I've not seen many of them in this region. So that is a key USP and differentiation what we want to bring on table, so that number one, you pay only for what you use. Number two, you do not have something called infra waste. This is a big problem with data centers. People keep on putting, say, I put 5 servers, but I put one application thinking that next month I might have another application. For next 10 months, I could not manage another application. So my 4 servers have been running idle, which means more power wastage, more energy wastage, more cost. So we want customers to pay and spend money only for what they get and what they use, and definitely create a higher ROI and low total cost of ownership. Apart from data center, as I mentioned, with the back of Tele-India, the capabilities what we have, both in terms of networks, in terms of hosting, in terms of administration, in terms of delivery, in terms of testing, in terms of helping customers with rack and stack, everything is in-house, because Data Samudra is not only a data center company. Data Samudra comes from Delhi, India, which has been there for last 2 decades, providing multiple gamut of services in telecom industry and IT industry. So that brings a lot of technical expertise, both in terms of pre-sales and post-sales environment and maintenance and warranty and support. Team behind. Now, as I gave my introduction, I am leading the GTM efforts for Data Samudra. My company, Mercado and Data and Tele-India work together. Mercado is the global GTM partner for Data Samudra. So team, we have put in a dedicated team. You can see some names here, and as we grow, the team grows. So we have a team of dedicated professional people going to work on this aspect of business. And we have people from multiple domains coming from companies like Cisco's and Dell's and Ericsson's and IBM's and a lot of other technology hubs which you can think of. So which means we bring a lot of expertise on the table, both in terms of understanding the customer requirement, fulfilling the customer requirement, and managing the customer requirement. We also are supported and will be supported by a big gamut of our partners, different kind of partners like independent ecosystem partners. We have an ecosystem of cyber professionals who can help us anytime with any kind of solution and service offering we need, value partners and referral partners. So our customers, when they host, they also get an opportunity to have an access to multi-gamut of service offerings around their requirement. So which means they don't have to go around and look for a service. If a customer says, I'm going to host in your data center, I have an application, but I want somebody to rework on my application, one of our ecosystem partner would be more than happy to do it. So that kind of ecosystem we are bringing, so you don't have to, customer doesn't have to really run around for other things. So this becomes like a one-stop shop for most of your digital requirements. And that is one another big proposition what Data Samudra is going to offer you. We are going to launch a marketing spate starting from coming Monday, both on social media, and because of this corona, there are a lot of things we can't do offline, but social media, online, webinars, press releases, and then you will have events where we are going to participate. Physical events may not happen for next 1 or 2 months, but whenever they happen, online events, yes, we're going to participate, and we're going to also be part of some of the industry workshops and some of industry initiatives, whether they are from CII, NASSCOM. We're actually building right now, talking to all of them so that customers will have access to the information and we are able to reach our target customers from any kind of medium. And then we are working on a very big ecosystem of partners. As I say, you'll see a lot of logos on this. There are some logos we cannot put until we have a proper sign off with the companies. So next time when you see the next webinar in 15 days, you will see lots and lots of logos on this, partners, alliances, and our go-to-market ecosystem. So Data Samudra, in a snapshot, being one of the first kind of offering in this country, is very unique. We are entering the market at a time where it definitely takes a lot of thinking to get into this. And I should say that Tele India management has been a great supporter of this, because they also realized that this is the time when people start to rethink about their priorities, especially when it comes to adopting digital. And we are available on all the channels. You will get emails, and you can go and definitely follow us and connect on Twitter, Facebook. We will be sending you this information through email as well. LinkedIn, our website is ready now. You got different emails. You can reach out to us. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to my sales lead and my marketing lead. You can reach out to us through mobile numbers. And this is the address where this building is. At any point of time you want to just have a look at the building, you can go there or give us a call. We are more than happy to host you there. Though hosting means there's nothing much today you can expect from hosting in real sense because of COVID, but hosting in the sense that we are able to show you around that building. And in next 2 months, you will see this whole concept coming live and kicking and being alive. So with this, I come to an end of this. I'm sure this would have given you a lot of information. I'm sorry if it was too much, but we wanted to just give you a preview so that you have pre-hand information, because you are a specialized set of people for us. So you have pre-hand information, a preview which nobody has. And next 2 weeks when we launch this publicly, you will definitely be part of that communication. And post that, we'll be hosting another few series of webinars for the general public, and you're most welcome to join. You can email also maybe tonight or tomorrow for whatever we have shown you, so that you can start coming to our social media sites and start building connections and share it with your customers and your other partners. So with this, I come to an end. I am more than happy to answer any questions, any queries, or any clarifications you might have. You can just unmute yourself and start asking questions.
Yeah, Ravinder, I'm Colonel Indrajit, and really wonderful, and congrats to you and your team for such a very innovative initiative. I think this is going to be a revolutionary kind of thing in India, And I wish the complete team a real big success to you and you all, in your new endeavors. This is really wonderful. Thank you very much.
And we look forward to also talk to you separately on a lot of cybersecurity initiatives, because you being a leader in this country for cybersecurity, we would definitely be happy to.
I'm always there. Always there.
Yes. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
This is Lokesh here.
Yeah, Lokesh.
I mean, a very good initiative, but somehow I feel that there are already multiple players in India, like NetMagic, Sifi, Tata, or Control as they are already playing really good in this particular field, and they are already set up. So there would be definitely a good amount of competition that we probably foresee with them. So the point is, like, we have
love
to have
competition,
something. we should have some differentiation from their offerings. If somebody can create some kind of a chart which we can talk to the prospective customer in terms of how we are different from these players who are already there in this market, so that probably will help. Take this further.
Yeah, absolutely. You will get that information. As I mentioned, there are key differentiators. One of them being flexibility, on demand, on requirement. One of them being our location itself is a big point, what you can call a very big differentiative point. And of course, see, there is competition in every business. And as I said, you cannot think of being successful, and you cannot really feel happy about being successful if you do not have a competition. Now, what happens when there is data center is a very vast field. I already mentioned the kind of data growth and kind of application growth in a country like India, and kind of compliances which are happening. The requirement for data center space is all-time high today, which means there is a space for everyone. We have our own target, we have our own unique proposition, we have our own go-to-market strategy, and I'm sure next 1 year, if we have this discussion after 1 year, you will see the difference where we are.
Can I add here, Ravinder?
Yes.
Can I add here, especially with the COVID which has come up, and there's so many SMEs and the small enterprises which are really looking to jump and shift their complete infrastructure to cloud and to data centers where they were using it on-prem. This is the right time, I'll say, rather, to grab the market. And this is the market which is naive, very niche, and where the small enterprises which never thought, they'll be moving to the cloud ever, right? Because they had the infrastructure, the people used to handle it from on-prem. They were very happy about it. Now they want to really move out to cloud because they cannot afford the person, number one. Secondly, the accessibility has become a problem. Third is the security has become a problem. And if you look in from those perspectives, this is going to be a new normal when you're shifting everything to the cloud, where the cloud adoption was very low. 2019, we were just seeing 17 to 18% cloud adoption. Now we're going to see a quantum jump into the cloud adoption per se.
Yes.
So I think this is going to be a big differentiator. Sorry to add you to the points here.
Thanks for raising this, because if you see the slide also, our strategy of entering the market is bottom ups, which means we're going to have a special focus on startups and SME business, because we believe the kind of muscle power which bigger companies have to go to cloud, these guys don't have. And that's very important, that we go to these guys and offer them something very specific to them. And that's
going to be a volume game. This is going to be a volume game this time. It's going to be a volume game rather than the number game here. So huge volume for them.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thanks for that. Any other question, guys? Before we come to an end, we have only 2 minutes. I would like to hear and have everyone hear from Mr. Mantesh also, his comments, parting comments. Mr. Mantesh is the chairman and CEO of Tele India, which is behind this data center. So Mantesh, would love to hear some comments from your side.
Hi, Ravinder. Thanks for that. I think you made most of the things presented really well. It's really fantastic, and also the way it has come out. See, I mean, just to add a few points with respect to the whole scenario, the strategy which has come out with the Data Samudra was it's our own thoughts and the idea. So where we are into, I mean, let's say the Tele India Networks is a service provider. So we want to create our own platform to deliver the services. So where it comes in to build a campus which has everything put together, including the data center, the NOC, and even incubation center for a startup and etc. The whole thought is to, because we see variety of problem are a problem. We are more focused in SP side, and we do see the challenges, and we deployed a lot of data center, and also that we have quite large expertise on the data center building and deploying. So we know the actual the market pain today. So we try to cover up a majority of issues, like say the flexibility, the on demand and on requirements. So I see that the SME are probably even some of the bigger companies are facing a lot of issues today with respect to data center. So my main focus or intent was to solve such problems. And also it was a kind of a coincidence for us on the COVID scenario where the demand of the data center is really increasing. So considering all these aspects, I think it is the right time for us to go faster to the market growth and etc. I think another beauty is again the locations. So where we predicted even almost 3 years back, and it was a place where it, especially on the North Bangalore. So even if you consider to be on the Bangalore, I think this would be a place where there are no much data center, even to be local. I mean, as Ravinder said, be local on the local side. So considering all those aspects, I think that was our thought to resolve the present market issues and then give a better services on the data center part.
Thanks,
There are
Mantesh, and thank you very much. Yeah, sorry.
no, that's it, Ravinder. I think
Thanks.
the majority of the aim and the intent and the reasons are these ones. And thanks, Ravinder, for be part of our family and also the business side, and where we had a good time. I think almost a year where we are working together with you.
Yes.
It was a fantastic journey, and also the discussions. And I know we discussed and made a lot of debates all put together. And you are also one of the person to teach me and also to take my thoughts to this level as in today. I appreciated your efforts.
Thanks, Mantesh. And I think we all are here to strive, and everyone on this call today, thank you very much for taking your time. You will get an email probably by tonight or tomorrow morning with some more details, links to our social media website so that you can go. Would request you to just follow us so that we'll start building an ecosystem here. And next 2 weeks, you will see a lot of public information coming to those social media. Finally, by the third week of June, we would be doing a global soft launch of this so that you can then start a real interaction with our team as well as with our customers. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks for being here, and have a great day and a safe day ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.